Hey there everybody, Mazarok here, and today I want to talk about the new Thundering Affix, how it's been reworked, what you can expect, and how you need to deal with it as a tank. It's been a couple of weeks now, and we've had the same mechanics for a little while, some damage numbers have changed, but I'm pretty sure at this point we're kind of ready to see this go live as it is, so let's talk about it. Before we do get started, please keep smashing that 5K goal for the end of the year. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all of the subs. So please remember, like, comment, subscribe. There are t-shirts for sale if you would like a Blood DK shirt. I only do Dungeons Fully Erect. Plate tanks do it better, whatever have you not. T-shirts, long sleeves, hoodies for sale. I cannot do this without the love of my patrons. Thank you so much, everyone on my Patreon. There's tons of goodies there. If you are interested in supporting me directly, you can do that in the link down below. There's a Twitch link down below if you wish to watch me stream. And lastly, there's a group of wonderful people in the Discord that you can join and, continue this conversation or ask about anything World of Warcraft or just come and hang out and have a good time. So, Thundering Affix. What is it? So, right off the bat, every 75-ish seconds, give or take, that's kind of where we've seen it be around, there's going to be blue swirlies that are going to appear on the ground. Avoid them, or you get a 2-second stun, and then everybody is going to get a 30% damage and healing increase buff. That is going to last for 15 seconds. 3 people are going to get the positive version of this buff, and 2 people are going to get the negative. And if you've done the Anduin mechanic at all in Sepulchre, the first ones, to counter the buff and get rid of it, you need to pair a negative with a positive, which will leave 1 person left. So how I've been dealing with it as a tank is if I have the positive buff, which will pretty much always be the third one, I just don't do anything. I let the DPS and the healers take care of it because there's usually range and how they go around it. And people tend to not come to the tank because they want to avoid frontals, which is the smarter thing to do, to be honest with you. Because there's some boss frontals, there's some frontals as well in some of the dungeons. So typically you don't want to be going to the DPS or healer and bringing those frontals to them. So if you have the positive version of this buff, you kind of just ignore it. And as long as they do the mechanic themselves and they get rid of the buffs, by the end of the 15 seconds, the last person with it will not have the 4-second stun. Mechanic cleared, everything's done. But if you get the negative version of the buff, you are one of 2 people that has to find their way over to one of the other 3 people. That's when you as a tank have to deal with it, right? That's kind of, you're now mechanically inclined to work in, and this is where you need to be a little bit careful. You want to make sure that you're clearing at the proper time. You kind of want to min-max the damage. 30% increased damage is not a small amount, so you don't necessarily want to get rid of it as fast as possible, but you don't want the 4-second stun, because a 4-second stun as a tank in higher keys, you dead. Plain and simple. There are ways to counteract the stun if you do get it, though, depending on some tanks. So Icebound Fortitude for Blood DKs, really big there. You can just not get stunned at all. And of course, Bubble for Paladins. You can take care of it there and not have a problem. So there are some things that you can do if you do get the stun in an emergency scenario, depending on how you're talented and all of those fun things. But that is the basics of the mechanic, right? Just try and get as much damage as you can, pair up, get rid of it. 1 person's going to be left, and then free damage, free healing, which is really, really nice. They said they wanted this, in fact, this affix to be slightly less, I'm not sure the word here, impactful. That's the one. They didn't want, like, I personally don't want, like, another prideful Season 1 from Shadowlands or whatever have you not. This is a nice way to give the players a damage amp, give the players that want to min-max and really work around this buff, because if you pop all of your cooldowns right when the buff is coming, you're able to pump a lot of damage. So this is something that players are going to want to track, right? You know, if you just had it 30 seconds ago, you still have a little bit of time left before it comes back. So you're going to want to work your cooldowns around and things like that for when you have this buff. You don't want to get rid of it too quickly, but you also don't want that 4-second stun. That can be really, really nasty. So as a tank, if you have the positive, let them deal with it. Unless you absolutely see that it's, you have to. let them deal with it. It's the safer route to go if you have the positive version of it, just like I said earlier, avoiding frontals, not, because the last thing you want to do is put a frontal right in front of your healer to clear a buff, and then it gets toast, right, when you could have just literally ignored the mechanic and allowed them to take care of it. But if you have the negative version, you do have to do something and take care of it and not get that stun, because you don't want your healer to get stunned either, or yourself. So that is the Thundering Affix. Honestly, final thoughts, it's nice. It's actually a pretty good one. It's going to allow us to learn the dungeons. It's not going to majorly change, it's not going to change routing or anything crazy like that. It's simple. It gives you a nice damage amp. You have to move around a little bit. It's really not crazily impactful. And from what this originally was to what what it is now is actually night and day, and really, really nice. So it is really nice to see them having worked on this seasonal affix. And for me, it's a big thumbs up. Yeah, it's a little boring. Sure. Doesn't need to be huge. We're getting eight new dungeons. Four new. Big quotation marks there for any audio listeners. But yeah. Really good. I like it. I like where this is going, and this is going to be a fun way to start off the season with a nice bang. So, thank you very much for listening, and happy tanking. Bye.